Today, on Be Something Wonderful, how faith in the unseen reality bends time and space. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. A few of you asked me, Tom, I'm still struggling with moving from my desire, or from desiring and wanting what I want, to the feeling of wish fulfilled. And I was just wondering if you could hit that one more time for us. Well, guys, we're going to unpack this today like we've never unpacked it. Here's what I want to say, is that it's really moving to this knowing that you're already fulfilled. Remember, the desire and the wanting of something is just that dimensionally larger you, that multi-dimensional you, saying, hey, this is what else. This is more of who you are, right? It's your multi-dimensional you saying, living that desire, right? Living that life and saying, this is more of what you can be. Hear that. It's a message to you, saying this is more of what you can be when you line up with it, when you feel that fulfillment now, because the multi-dimensional self is already saying you are fulfilled. You're already living it. So think of the desire, think of the wanting as the divine urge in you. It's a divine urge communicating to you, right? It's that urge in you, that divine urge in you, wanting to be more than that 0.0001% of 3D physical reality, wanting to experience more of that 99.99999% of the unseen. Isn't that a good thing to know? It's a divine, wanting's not a bad thing, desiring's not a bad thing. It's a divine urge in you to experience more of who you already are. That's how. Let's really unpack it today like we've never unpacked it before. When you begin in the end, when you live in the end, when you think from the end, you collapse time and space, or space and time. Because that's really what we're doing here, right? The only thing that keeps you sort of stuck between not feeling fulfilled and in the desiring is your belief in lack, that you don't have your desire, that you're not that dimensionally larger you, and in time, in linear time. That desire is at some time in the future. It's only when it manifests in the future. Do you hear this? So that's what we're going to hit today. Remember, linear time is irrelevant. This is big. So you begin with your wish already fulfilled and you stay there. That's how you do it, right? That's faith or loyalty to the unseen reality, right? If linear time is irrelevant, if your inner being, if that is a divine urge, that desire, that wanting is simply a divine urge, or your inner being communicating with you saying, this is who you really are, then it is done. And it's you just having faith in that. So you can experience that portion of you that's already experiencing it in the dimensionally larger reality. So you can experience that in the 3D experience. That's big. That's faith. That's loyalty to the unseen. You embody that desired version of yourself and then rest in that new identity. That's what it's about. Let's really take this to another level today. So persist in the conviction of the feeling that you have what you wanted, or that you are what you desire to be. Remember, Neville talks about persistence. All the spiritual greats talk about it. But persistence is not effort. Persistence is not endurance. Persistence is not grit, right? It's not suffering with something until you get what you really want, right? It's none of that, right? It's not putting up with stuff. It's not tolerating 3D reality until you get what you want. What is persistence? Persistence is an inner decision. It's a choice where you assume your desired identity and occupy your new reality and dwell there. Hear this. That's persistence. It's a choice. It's an inner decision. It's a deep inner decision, right? To assume your desired reality and occupy your new reality and dwell there. Persistent is the inner decision to experience what you want, or desire, or wanted, or desired, because you're no longer desiring it, you're experiencing it right now within, and to remain there. That's what persistence is. It's an experience, right? It's not to make something happen out there. That's what sometimes we confuse persistence with. I've got to persist until. I get something. No, it's to have the experience now. Let's unpack this a little bit more. Imagining, visualizing, affirming, none of those processes are not to make something happen out there in the future. That's where we get caught up in these processes. We feel it's to make something happen, be somewhere else, be someone different in the future. But what is it for? It's to create the inner experience of it happening right now within you. Right? Because it is. You wouldn't feel that divine urge that we call wanting or desiring if it wasn't already within you happening. Right? If you're infinite being, you're the multidimensional, wasn't already experiencing it. It's already happening within you. That's what the processes do, to get you to experience that, to get you to that knowing. That's what they do. They move you to the knowing. Right? It's not a means to some end to make something manifest, but it is the end. Right? Those processes are the end. The experience is the end, right? That's how you collapse time and space. That's what Neville meant when he said, make elsewhere here in the future now. The future event is a reality now in the dimensionally larger world. And he says, oddly enough, I've hit this before in other videos, now in that dimensionally larger world is the equivalent to here in the ordinary the 3D world. Hear that? Now is here because there's no here and there. And there's no now and then. There's just now. Right? And now is here. Wow, that's powerful. Let's unpack this a little bit more. When you look, and this is what Paul says, 2,000 years ago, Scripture lays this out for us. This is what Paul says. We look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. Whoa! Paul lays it out. Paul gives us the secret of perception here in reality creation. Because remember what we said, as you look at the things not seen, you are looking as the things seen. I really want you to hit this. This is what Paul's saying here. As you look at the things not seen within, in your imagination, you are looking as the things seen. So as you do that, you're seeing them, right? And you'll start perceiving them as that reality. That's big. In other words, you're creating the reality or the perception, the outer reality, perception, as you perceive it inwardly. Do you hear this? Right? Where you're creating that as you look inwardly, as you create that inwardly, as you look at the things that are not seen. Right? You're creating the things that are seen. You're seeing through that perception. The perception changes. Right? Paul gave us the secret of perception and reality creation 2,000 years ago. We look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. Meaning, as we look at the things not seen, those things that are seen change according to what we're seeing within. Whoa, that's so big. So, Paul was telling us that, what was really Paul saying? He was saying it's done. It's already yours. You are already what you desire to be. That's what Paul was saying. Trying to make something happen, waiting for something to manifest, expecting things to change, to be fulfilled, is rooted in lack and a belief in linear time. That's all. It's belief in something. Somehow we lack something in the present moment. The present moment is somehow not good enough, right? And we need to be somewhere else in the future. Right? And we believe in that this linear time that it's going to come in the future. But it never comes because you're feeling that lack. And as long as you're in lack, you just keep creating lack, right? There's no magic in lack. There's no power in lack. There's no future in lack, right? So what is it about? What is all this about? It's about you allow it to exist in your imagination and consciousness to such a degree that the 3D manifestation becomes uneventful and unimportant. Hear that. You allow that inner world, that inner manifestation, that inner fulfillment to exist to such a degree that the manifestation becomes uneventful. It doesn't even become important. But here's the paradox. As that becomes uneventful and unimportant, it manifests. It appears in 3D reality. That is the paradox. Right? So let's unpack this a little bit more. Remember, the magic, the energy, the power comes from within, not the techniques. right? You cannot be waiting and expecting something to happen out there and be fulfilled embodying it at the same time. Those are opposite states of being. It can't happen, right? What did Neville say? Neville said confident expectation is a deeper conviction of the inner manifestation. That's big, because that's really what we're talking about. It's deeply expecting it to a point of conviction, right? So it's not expecting it out of lack. It's expecting it out of fulfillment. Do you hear the difference, right? When you are deeply expecting something, you're no longer consciously expecting it. It's done. Non-fulfillment is an impossibility when you're in confident expectation, when it's a deeper expectation. But if it's an expectation of lack, now you're expecting something in the future to happen to make you fulfilled. Here, from this confident expectation, from this deeper conviction, you are fulfilled. Non-fulfillment is an impossibility. You can't be something and expect it at the same time. Do you hear this? You can't be it and expect it in the future at the same time, right? Everything is yours when you stop wanting and chasing it. Simply assume it and claim it. It's already within you. Let's take this a step further today. So there's always this wanting and longing for things to be different than they are. Sometimes it's strong, sometimes it's a subtle urge. Hear this, there's always that urge. Why do we always have it? Doesn't matter what we get. And this isn't a bad thing, this is a good thing. Why? Because, and you know, I remember when I was younger, they always go, well, you're never satisfied, right? But that is the point, to never be satisfied. Why? And I mean that in a fun way, because you're eternal, you're multidimensional. And you're experiencing only 0.0001%, you're always going to have that divine urge, but it's a good thing. But the divine urge should come from a place of already feeling that fulfillment, that you're a multidimensional being, and that you get to experience a part of that evolution right now, any part that you choose. So now there's no longing, there's no craving. There's no resisting, because you know you are that. It's already within you, and you simply choose what you want to experience next. That's big. So here's the why. Why? Because you are a multidimensional being experiencing all possibilities, infinite realities right now. Wanting is just feeling the limitation of the lack of that 0.0001%. That's all that wanting is, right? But it's a divine urge. Right? And it's feeling that lack and limitation of that 0.0 of physical perceivable reality, right? And but here's the thing, and here's what we do with this beautiful wanting, this beautiful desiring, I'm even going to call it divine desire, divine wanting. It's a beautiful thing, but what do? We translate this longing and this wanting, this infinite longing, and it's really divine energy, into all kinds of negative feelings and emotions and resistance. Do you hear that? We take that wanting, which is really just divine energy, right? You're wanting something, you're longing for something, you're desiring something, it's just divine energy. We take it and we translate it into feelings, emotions of lack, of frustration, of regret, worry, stress, guilt, impatience, right? Sometimes unconditional love, we mix it up with that, right? Or resentment, or even hate, right? But all of those forms, all of those negative forms are just, underneath that is the wanting. They're all forms of wanting, put through a filter, a 3D filter of these feelings, behind these filters and assumptions, right? But behind it all, underneath that, is the substance of divinity. It's a divine urge to experience more of who you really are. That's big. So, wanting from lack pulls you out of the present moment, or the eternal moment, where everything you want exists. Do you hear that? Wanting and desiring and longing something from a state of lack, from a state of belief in linear time that it's going to come in the future, pulls you out of the present moment where life exists. Right? That's where life exists. That's where everything, your wishes come true, right? You're looking to the outside world, right? But wanting from fulfillment, right, is choosing to experience another part of who you really are. You're calling forth another part of that dimensionally larger you. You're calling forth another quantum possibility out of an infinite field of quantum possibilities. Wow, that's big. You're looking inwardly, right? Wanting from lack. Here's an example of wanting from lack. And this is a good example because we do this all the time. When you lose your car keys or you misplace your keys, right? You start desperately looking for them, but you could not find them. Here you are, right? And when you do this, when you desperately look for them, right, and you feel this desperation, it shifts you to a reality where your keys are not. You really want to find them. But remember, you can't find what you believe is lost. You can't find it from that desperately wanting state. You've got to find it from a state of wanting from fulfillment. And that's what this is. Wanting from fulfillment is about letting go of the looking, right? And just resting in the knowing that they're exactly where you left them. But you just can't perceive them right now, so you're going to let it go. That's wanting from fulfillment. That shifts you back to realities where they are. That shifts you to favorable realities and favorable lifelines. That really is how faith in the unseen reality bends time and space. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button. Like and share our videos. That's how we get our messages out. Share them on your Facebook and on your social media and with others. You can follow us on Facebook at Be Something Wonderful, on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin. You can visit our website at tomkearin.com, besomethingwonderful.com, or you can write me at info@besomethingwonderful.com. I always love to hear from you. I promise I'll get back to you. Guys, until next time, with great love and great light and infinite gratitude, this is Tom. See you soon.